I want to give a grade to the Detroit Pistons in free agency right now because it's been pretty nice, man. And if I had to grade the Detroit Pistons on what they've done so far in free agency, I would say 95%. 95%, I'm giving them a solid A on their job that they've done so far in free agency, because for them to already have kind of lost one of their main targets in free agency, including Malik Beasley, a guy who got in trouble with gambling and all of that stuff, someone who just kind of got wiped off the board, who was the main option in free agency. They didn't put us in jeopardy for the future. They didn't make any outlandish moves that's going to hurt us or hurt the chemistry of the team. And they also still retained pieces like a pure shooter that we got, and also some guys that's going to come in and help fill in the role on the bench and bring in some more scoring. So for me, man, Trajan Langdon, you've done amazing. The Pistons front office, you guys have done amazing, and I have nothing bad to say about it. It's a solid A for me, a 95% of the job that you guys have done, because it's possible we still might be opening up some more cap space. We didn't make any bad deals, even after losing Tim Hardaway Jr. Obviously, Malik Beasley, he's got his situation. But Dennis Schroeder is another guy who was extremely helpful for us last season. But although myself and a lot of other Pistons fans were panicking about losing Dennis Schroeder and Tim Hardaway Jr., we still somehow, made this offseason somewhat successful. And actually, I think it's pretty damn successful, bringing in some guys that's super helpful, including names that aren't Malik Beasley. So, I'm very pleased with the Pistons did. The Pistons did a great job pivoting from all the other crazy headlines that were sneaking up and kind of taking a big toll on fans, including myself, of just like, damn, we're not going to be able to sign our main target. We done lost two other key pieces that were super helpful from helping us turn around the season. So, Pistons did amazing. And the addition of Karis LeVert and Duncan Robinson, man, I love it. These two guys played together at the University of Michigan, so they already have chemistry with each other, and they're used to being in the state of Michigan, so you love to see that, of course. So I'm excited to bring these two players here, and I think, they will be able to help the Detroit Pistons in two unique different ways. Obviously, Duncan Robinson. We know Duncan Robinson is a shooter. He's a pure shooter. He's one of the only undrafted guys, one of 8 undrafted guys to make 1,000 3-pointers. So he's what he's coming to Detroit to do. He's letting it fly. And I think also too with Duncan Robinson, his ability to put the ball on the floor is a little bit underrated. So the way his game is going to bounce off of K's game is going to be extremely helpful. Having a guy there who can kind of take the scoring toll off of Cade Cunningham a little bit, and then also Karis LeVert. I don't think he'll be a starter, but coming off the bench, he's an athletic guy, shifty, can create his own shot. And this is exactly what the Pistons needed. This is why people were excited to bring Dennis Schroeder there, why people were excited of possibly getting Malik Monk, even though I don't think we necessarily need him, which I'll explain down the line. But bringing these guys, just Duncan Robinson and Karis LeVert, two guys who are going to fit the team's dynamic, is extremely helpful. We didn't overpay. Yeah, we kind of threw the bag at Duncan Robinson a little bit, but to me, it's worth it. And honestly, I think it's still less than what we probably would have had to pay Malik Beasley had he not got in trouble for all the gambling stuff and that whole situation that he has going on. So I'm comfortable with giving Duncan Robinson pretty much $50 million for 3 years. I'll take it. I'm fine with that. And then defensively, I'm not really concerned defensively, honestly. As long as we got Asar Thompson and Jalen Duren on the defensive end, I'm good. I'm content with our defensive ability and the way that we can lock down teams, because those two guys are just, man, they helped us out so many times, like just in the course of the regular season. So I think those are our defensive anchors. Asar Thompson, Jalen Duren. Those two are the defensive anchors for the Pistons. Obviously, everybody else will have to play their part. They'll have to make sure they give effort on the defensive end. But Asar Thompson, Jalen Duren, those two, if we got those two, those are key pieces. Ron Holland is also a great defender as well. He's still super young. So we got a huge bright side. And then honestly, I don't think there's many gaps for us to fill. Outside of just wanting to bring in another power forward in the center, maybe just bring in some more depth on the front court for the Detroit Pistons. That's the only gap I can think of that still needs to be filled for this roster right now, because I mean, we can add another 4 or 5 just to give Stewart and Duren a break, but they have to play defense. They still have to be there. Preferably, I would want them to, whoever we bring in at the 4 or 5, I would preferably want them to have some sort of scoring ability. That way we can kind of rely on that off the bench as well. But I mean, I'm not going to get too picky. A lot of those guys are off the table, and then a lot of those guys are actually way too expensive right now anyway. So I would just settle for someone who's going to come in and play defense. Now, I know we re-signed Reed, which is going to be huge because he stepped up in the playoffs when Stewart went down. So I'm comfortable having him, but I still think we need one more guy to come in that front court that can at least spread the floor, or is going to just be another defensive anchor and a defensive presence there, just in case we do get shorthanded again. Because guard wise, we're all right. We got a lot of guys who can make plays and make some things happen guard wise and score the ball. So I think our chances of possibly coming out of the East and just making something happen in the playoffs again are monumental right now, because you look at the teams who were giving us trouble, the Celtics and the Pacers. They're not really going to be there. The Celtics, I mean, they pretty much done. They got rid of Drew Holiday and Porzingis, and, they don't have any Jason Tatum right now. So that's going to be a huge blow for them. I'm not really worried about the Celtics. I think if we match up against them, it'd be a great series, but we can take them. And same for the Indiana Pacers. Losing Miles Turner is a huge blow, and they already don't have Therese Halliburton. So I'm not worried about the Pacers at all. The only other teams you really got to worry about in the Eastern Conference, if being a Pistons fan, is really the Milwaukee Bucks and the New York Knicks. Knicks because we played them last year, and they got the dude Brunson, who's just a killer. Bucks, Giannis. it's Giannis. I don't need to explain any much more than that. I mean, outside of those two teams, I don't really think any other team can hang with the Pistons from a roster's depth standpoint. Like, yeah, the Cavs are good. I know the Magic is on the come up. The Hawks actually made some great moves this offseason so far, and those teams are going to be solid. But in terms of a 7-game series and a roster's depth standpoint, I don't see them being on the same level as the Pistons right now. Both sides, when you look at Magic, Hawks, Cavs, got a lot of low-key guys on there. But I just think the Pistons' low-key guys are a little bit better than everybody else's right now. And we'll see. We'll obviously see how it plays out to know the truth about it. But, people forget that a guy like Jaden Ivey did not play most of the season last year. But Jaden Ivey was yet a dude who was averaging 17 points before he got injured. Like, this dude is a bucket. And he didn't really get a chance to exploit it as much as Cade got the chance to show how great he's improved over the past few years, because Cade was healthy and Ivy was obviously out. So I think now that Ivy's going to come back and be healthy for the full season, it's gonna be a huge difference maker, and people will see. They'll begin to tell, like, damn, that other dude over there, I mean, Ivy, he's kind of nice. Like, he's got some skill to him. Like, damn, him and K 1-2 punch, that's a good combination. How the hell did they get this on the same team? So I think we'll begin to see that down the line, but it does take time. And right now, man, I'm very satisfied with where we are in the free agency, because we still have a bright future ahead of us, still a very, very young team. So obviously I'm not expecting to win no championship next year, but so be it. We don't win the championship next year. The next few years after that, we still have developing talent. The best way to look at it is 5 years from now, our superstar is only going to be 29, 28. Probably in his prime at that point. So I'm content with that. And we still going to have a lot of guys up under him. If we can continue to keep them, they won't even be cracking 27.